Hello everyone, it's Laura here, and today I just could not wait to show you the test print of my Circle Portraits book. So, hold on, let me get the chat open. Let's see here. Here it is. Make sure. There we go. Okay, so hello Marilla, or Marilia? I think I said that right. Sorry if I didn't. So this here is the test print of my book. So this isn't the, and you can see there's like holes where they punched it. So it came out a little spiral thing, but I took it out because it seemed to be tearing the cover a little, so I didn't want to do that. But otherwise, this is exactly like my book. And I just wanted to show you, people have been asking me about the size and the paper. So I went through all of the coloring books I own, and it seems to be the closest to Lost Ocean by Joanna Basford. As far as the size, you can see it's exactly the same size. It's 10 by 10. So, sorry, it's not bound, so it's a little bit loose, but it's exactly the same size as her book. And also the same type of paper. It's just a little bit lighter weight, but the same tooth and the same color. So I'll just show you. I'm just going to show you one of the pages. So it's a very, very similar color. And the tooth of the paper, I don't know if this is picking up on camera, but they're almost exactly the same. When I go to color them, they feel the same. So if you're wondering about the standard edition paper and what it's like, if you have Lost Ocean, that would be the most similar book that I have in my collection. So I just wanted to cover that really quick. So yeah, you can see that the book is 10 inches by 10 inches. So it's similar to all the other books that you probably already have. So I tried to make it, you know, close to all the books that I have that I like, basically. So this is the title page, and this is actually a duplicate of one of the interior pages, so you get this illustration twice. So I'm just going to do a flip through of all of the artwork, so that way you can see what you're going to get in the book. And every single book comes with all of these illustrations. It's just a matter of what type of paper. So I offer 3 paper choices in the pre-order only. This here is the standard edition, so this is exactly what you'll get, except it will be bound instead of, with holes in it. So there's no holes, there'll be a binding there instead. So if anybody has any questions about the book, or they want to know more about the pages, just feel free to put it in the chat. I'm happy to talk about whatever you want to know. This picture was actually based on a real life little lady. She's super cute, and she asked her mom, why aren't there any black princesses with glasses? And I was like, hey, we can fix that. So that's why I drew this page. And there's a whole story about the character. I created a whole character around it. All of those stories will be up on my website soon. I'm just putting that page together still. And this here was actually one of the very first, if not the first, circle portrait that I did. It's inspired by Alphonse Mucha, and it kind of started me off on this whole journey with the book. And so you can see the frame is very similar to an Art Deco style frame. And once I did this portrait, I just couldn't stop doing circle portraits. So she's kind of the start. Thank you. Thank you very much. And then this here is a stag sprite that I've been coloring on the toned paper. So if you want to take a look at how I color this page, you'll want to take a look at the last 2 live streams I did. This is one of my favorite pages. So she's really fun to color. And some of these pages you will be able to find on my Etsy shop as digital downloads. This here is one of those pages. However, most of the book is only available in print form only. That's to protect my work from theft. So, unfortunately, hello, Tracy. So some of them are available as digital downloads. Yep, so all of the pages have a little short story attached to them on my website. And so that way, if you like reading stories, they all kind of have a similar theme for the most part. But yeah, this is the Gem Fair. There's a whole story. I won't get into it now. And here's Prince Jomo and the Flutterfant. And there's like a little, I don't know if you can see, but there is a faint, here, I'll just bring the page up. There's like a waterfall scene in the background. So much fun. So that last section was the fantasy section, and now we're moving on into the steampunk section. So you'll see there are actually several parts of this book. I created 5 different themes. That way you weren't coloring all the same type of portrait. So now we're into the Scarlet City Steampunk section. The last bit was the Viridian Jungle. So each page is completely different. Every portrait and the circle are their own unique character. Here's my dragon tamer. She's got a lot of punk in her steampunk. And this is a page that hasn't been seen before. Little Miss Abby is featured in the book twice, and here's the second page. The first page most people have already seen. But yeah, this little aviator boy, he's got Abby too. Thank you, Daria. And there's a really cute story behind this page. She's a watchmaker's wife, and she's a really busy new mom, and so she can't be fussed to keep a pocket watch because she doesn't have 2 hands for it. So she's the inventor in my little universe of the wristwatch. And this guy, she's a steampunk pirate. So, pretty fun. I love drawing this page. And here's my spy. His name is Ben. Pretty fun page too. And here's the queen of Scarlet City, and she's got her trusty companion with her. And this page is really detailed. Here, I'll bring it up close. So she's got a lot of detail in this. And this is the explorer lady. She's really fun. Her name is Etta. And she's got a little monkey friend. I liked drawing a lot of animals in the pages along with the portraits because I feel like people who have pets can totally understand. We do identify ourselves by the animals that we love. So he's got a little dragon type lizard type guy. I don't really know. I just had fun drawing it. And this is the professor. This page is also based on a real life person who's a very dear friend of mine who is a very mechanical genius. So I thought to include that type of character in my book would be really fun. And now we're moving on into the myths and legends section of the book. So you'll find that I took popular myths and some lesser known myths as well, and some legends from all over the world. So I'm not going to say what they are. See if you can guess them in the comments below. But yeah, so these are all based on like real stories or legends from around the world. And I've included all sorts of cultures because I wanted to be more inclusive, so they're not all from one mythology. And this page is in my Etsy shop, but I've updated it for the book. So the hummingbird, I learned how to draw birds a lot better throughout the course of doing this book. So I redrew the hummingbird, and I really like the change. And also I added some grayscaling to the moons just to give a little more hint as to where the shading goes. This paper is so nice. It's fairly thick. It's not cardstock like my last book, but it is nice and thick. And when I tested it, it did well with all sorts of different media, including light water media. So you can do some, you can't saturate the paper and not have it buckle, but luckily they're one-sided, so you can really go to town, use Copics or watercolor. I would just pop a page behind it just so it doesn't bleed through to the next if you're using like Copics or something. And this is another page that hasn't been seen before. This is actually one of my favorite pages in the book. It has a lot of detail. So I'll bring it up here so you can see. So her face, but then all of these little details. And this is another page that hasn't been seen before, my merman page. So this is the peace treaty between the mermen and the mermaids and the fish that live in the area. There's a whole story behind every page, like I said, so I won't get into the details, but you can read those soon on my site. Now for the mermaids section of the book, I did include these. There's 2 pages like this that are called the Water Babies book, the Water Babies pages. And so there are 2 little circles with 2 little mini portraits in them. I mean, they're not mini, they're still fairly good size, but they're smaller than a full page. So I thought this might be fun to like test out skin tones or just have fun practicing. Or even if you just don't want to color a full page, there's some smaller ones in there for you. And this is actually a bridge. This is a crossover between the myths and legends and the mermaids page section. Oh, thank you for the like. And here's the other Water Babies page. So her little sweet face, I love it. And this here is another popular page on my Etsy shop as a digital download. So if you don't want to buy the book, if you can't, for whatever reason, do the shipping or whatever, then this page is available on my Etsy shop, but I have updated it slightly for the book. So I've lightened up the lips a little bit, and also the nose. I felt it was too dark when I saw it colored. So many of the pages that are in my Etsy shop are updated in this book to be improved. Really tried to make everything the best I could for you guys. Hello, Maury. Thank you so much. And here's the other Abby portrait. So now we're moving on into the modern day faces section of the book. So I did want to include some, like portraits from like this time period, like realistic. So here's a little lady and a little kitty, and this cat is actually modeled after my own cat. So I used my kitty as a reference for her. And here's another page that is available on my Etsy shop. So again, if you don't want to buy the book, then you can still snag this one. And I used to ride horses when I was a little girl, so that's where this page inspiration came from. We couldn't afford to do it for very long because the lessons were expensive, but I really did get a very good bond with my horse, and I just loved riding, so I wanted to include a page like that in my book. And this page is available in my Etsy shop, but I have updated it. So I've cleaned up the line work. I actually redrew the entire page, and I changed the border. The frame is now this branchy border, so it is updated. And here's a page that's never been seen before. This is actually inspired by my grandparents, yeah, I wanted to include something to show that love can last a lifetime. That's the title of the page. And here's a page inspired by my world-traveling cousin. He is currently in Europe, so that's why I have a lot of European landmarks around the border. But I thought it'd be fun just to draw somebody who's like traveling. You can see there's like a little map behind him in the background. So I thought this would be kind of fun to do. And here's another page inspired by my childhood. I used to like to bring home bugs and frogs and all kinds of animals, much to my mother's dismay. And I remember especially having like a bug collection that she really hated. So this page is called The Bug Catchers, and the little froggy and the little little kid are both loving catching bugs. So. And here's a self-portrait. So yeah, you can color my face. And I've included all sorts of different coloring supplies. So you can see pencils, Copic markers, a little paintbrush with splattering the little dragon's head with some paint. And then the title of the page is Coloring is Magic. So that's why I've included the mythical creatures. Thank you very much, Bridget. Bridget? I am sorry if I said that wrong. And then, because I know a lot of people are scared about coloring faces, I've included 2 practice pages. So here's the face elements page, and then the other side, the reverse side. So this is the only double-sided page in the book. This also has like mini portraits that you can color and practice in. And then the back cover of the book. So this is also colorable, although this paper is coated. So I think markers will do better than pencils, although I haven't tested it, so I'm not sure. But I thought, include some more, why not? And then the acknowledgments and the thank you. And then the back cover. Now I do want to say something about the front and the back cover. The coloring is completed by Maria Payne, and she's a dear friend of mine, and she allowed me to use her work on the cover. She's been a fan of my circle portraits and just coloring a whole lot of them. And so when I asked her if she would like to be on the cover, she was excited. She said yes. So these three here are her work, and then also the cover itself. This is coloring as well. So you can find her on Instagram. Instagram handle is mcrpayne, and I'll put a link to that in the description. So the standard edition comes bound with a cover. The other are loose sheets that you can just color as you like, and then frame them if you want. All right, so that's it. Does anybody have any questions about the book? Well, if you do have any questions, go ahead and post them in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer anything. And yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, hi ho.